What's up, everyone? I'm your server, Jay. Black empowerment is your job, and this is your lunch break. This is your bi-weekly broadcast that's well seasoned, never salty, and I'm joined by who?
Keys and black. Well, go ahead.
Keys,
Black guys
from the Black Narrative.
Man, y'all fire. I don't even know who y'all are, man.
Yo, I was just thinking like, man, I need to start eating before I do the lunch break.
Yeah, you really do,
Oh,
man.
With all the
Don't eat
transitions.
during the. You said what?
With all the transitions and everything.
Right.
Got them hungry. All right, so we're gonna get this show on the road. I'm gonna dig in my lunch pail and see what's the first topic today. The first topic is what is a woman? Wow, we are lucky.
Man.
Hey, so what is a woman? Black Ice brought this up. Black Ice really wanted to talk about this because he loves this whole movement. So Black Ice, what enticed you? What did you like about this documentary?
Man, this dude went in. This is by a comedian, conservative comedian Matt Moash, and so he did this documentary about what is a woman, and he actually talking to variety of doctors and Supreme Court justices, these so-called professionals in our country, and none of them, college professors, and none of them could answer the simple question, "What is a woman?"
What I think
Yes, that's what's troubling about it. In this documentary, we've seen how person after person, interviewee after interviewee, did not respect objective reality. Objective reality, they just ducked away from it. You were gonna say something, Akis?
Yeah, to me, it was just kind of wild because it really kind of shows how, when it comes to the alphabet community, they like to try to appropriate the identity of women, in order to kind of, for various reasons. But it's wild because when you often look at the whole dynamic of the trans community, it's oftentimes more men to female that are put in the forefront than female to male. So I thought it was really interesting the fact that, he did make this documentary asking specifically, what is a woman?
I had a different take. But I was thinking about while watching this, bro. I was thinking about the report from the California Task Force, the Reparations Task Force. But I know we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
But
Keith, your point was good. I have a clip I want to share, but Keith, what your point was really good, and it's like we don't have a problem from what female to males because they can't compete against us.
Right.
But when you go from male to female, then you could exploit the differences, the biological differences, and then that will lead to the erasure of woman. And that's why a lot of this just seems like hatred for females, because they want to erase females. They don't care if they're in sports or what have you. But before we keep going on, I want to show you a clip that illustrates the thought process of these professionals. 1 second. I updated my AOL, so hopefully it doesn't skip. Let's look.
Who believes in Santa Claus? So this is someone who believes that a fat man is traveling through the sky on a flying reindeer at lightning speed, coming down his chimney with presents.
Yeah. Hold on real quick. I'm going to pause. This person is a psychologist. They got all these credentials. They have degrees from Utah, and so he asked her a basic question. He said, he asked her a question about Santa Claus. So just listen to it.
Would you say that this is someone who maybe has a tenuous grasp on reality?
They have an appropriate 4-year-old handle on the reality that's very real for them.
Agreed. But Santa Claus is real for them, but Santa Claus is not actually real.
Yeah, but Santa Claus does deliver their Christmas presents.
Well, yeah, but he's not real, though.
To that child, they are.
When I see a child who, believes in Santa Claus, and then let's say this is a boy and he says, I'm a girl. This is someone who can't distinguish between fantasy and reality. So how could you take that as a reality?
I would say that as a pediatrician and as a parent, I would say how wonderful my 4-year-old and their imagination is.
Yo. That
was funny. That was funny and scary at the same time.
It is. And a lot of people, your kids are in therapy and you're taking your kid to one of these weirdos. And one of these weirdos is coaching your kids. When you hear how she responded, it's someone that they do not grasp reality. They do not want to grasp reality. So when they're talking to your kids, they're not prepping your kids for objective reality. They're prepping your kids to think that the world is whatever they want it to be. And that's the scary part. You have your kids sitting down with one of these people. What were you saying, Keys?
No, it's not even only that. They want to program these kids to see the world as they see it. And the scary thing about it is the kid believing in Santa Claus is one thing. But when they start to believe in these, that they're a gender apart from the one that they were born with, then the parent can actually end up getting in trouble while for not allowing the kid to go and get chemically castrated or go through all these hormonal things that will destroy their bodies and be experimented on. The parent could go to jail or be fined or what have you. Have the kid taken away, everything.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, when does that line cross? Like, as adults, we're supposed to guide children into society. We're supposed to help them become productive members of society. We're to guide them. But when you let kids who have less experience than us, when you let them control things and let them come to you and say, I'm a girl, and now you take that serious, you're relieving your duty as an adult, or you're abdicating your role of being able of guiding these children. If my son came to me and said, I feel like I'm a woman, I'm not going to just tell him he's crazy, but I'm going to talk to him and try to see, like, okay, what's going on in your head? Then I might take him to a therapist. It ain't going to be this weirdo, though. And I'll be sitting in the room. I'll be like, this is Serena's dad. This is a 6-year-old child.
Exactly.
Parting thoughts, everyone?
I would say my thoughts for later because they're going to connect to a future topic.
Well,
how is this dude going to connect this to reparations? I don't even know.
I'm curious. I'm curious to see. My parting thought, it's a really good point you brought up, Jay, as far as actually sitting in there with the therapist, because we can't trust the therapists that we're being given in this day and age because they have their agendas. And we saw the list of professionals that were featured in What is a Woman, and the ones that opposed the thought of
Keys.
Yeah.
The my lunch bell's calling.
You did me dirty, man.
I know you was about to go on a monologue. So 4 years ago.
Yo, I was thinking about the Chappelle show had the wrap it up box.
Yeah, that's so the next topic is the recession. So this is, if you have been unaware, like, America is in a really bad time. Like, this is a really scary time for the United States of America. We've been kicking the economic can down the road, okay? And if you don't know who this is the man. Real quick, everybody's talking about delineation. This dude is trying to delineate you from any standard of living. This is Jerome Powell, the chairperson of the Federal Reserve, and they're increasing interest rates right now, which could possibly push the country into the recession, topple the stock market and home value. So what do you gentlemen think about the recession?
Well, honestly, I thought we've been in a recession period, because everything's been going downhill for the past couple of years ever since the pandemic. I guess now they're starting to actually admit it, and it's starting to come to a head. Yep. But I've been seeing a rapid change, a bunch of abandoned, there's more of an increase in homelessness. You're starting to see it more widespread. You're starting to see more abandoned businesses. You're starting to see a lot of
it's scary out here.
Yeah.
I mean, like, especially the Atlanta market went up a lot. They say Atlanta one of the highest markets as far as increase, and everything going up but the wages. And and it's something that I guess most of B1 media have been talking about for the past 2 years, and nobody was really
stressing it.
Yeah, but now they see it now, like, and I feel like still everything that's happening now it's going to affect it for the next few years, so it's not going to go away quickly.
Yes, real wage growth has been stagnant since 1978. So we're seeing a bunch of compounding effects take come into fruition or manifest. Like Zillow stock is down 40% after they had to admit on the earnings call that all the houses they were buying up, they're stuck on the market. Target's earnings are down. Tesla laid off employees, so we're starting to see the effects. And we were going to slip into this recession, I believe, in 2018, but the Fed lowered the interest rate to stimulate activity.
Wow.
And so that kind of kept us from sliding into that recession, but it's unavoidable now. You couldn't lower the interest rate anymore.
Yeah.
So they lowered it. We had all this hyperinflation. Now chicken wings.
Man, that's ridiculous. Like you
Having
spend almost
Thai
a dub for some hot wings now.
Right.
Or look,
Yes.
oxtail prices high as hell shit. And I'm really surprised you still in Cali, man. 'Cause I know a lot of people in Cali who's like migrating to Texas the past couple of years.
Yeah, I'll rather take the high chicken wings than all that. Than all
What's wrong with
that
Texas,
in
Jay?
Texas.
What's wrong with Texas, Jay? You don't like UGK?
I like UGK. I don't like just how nasty that racism out there. That you be wanting to fight every day, man. I used to go to Texas. I used to be in Texas 2 weeks out of every month. And you go in some of them suburbs, man, you go outside of the main areas, man, it just gets racist really fast. California is very racist too, but it's a little different. They not as out there as they are in Texas. Like Texas, they be looking at you like, you be walking in the wrong store, they be looking at you like that. Like, nigga, what are you looking at?
Yo, I had somebody actually tell me today that things were calm when Obama was in office. I'm like, calm how? Like Trayvon Martin was doing Obama years, Mike
Right.
Brown
Yes.
doing Obama years.
And all we got was a meeting, and he met
Right.
some rappers.
Right.
He shook J. Cole's hand. That's what we got for
Like-
our struggle.
They're like, calm. I'm like, and then he said, we didn't vote for Joe Biden. We voted to get Trump out. Huh?
See, the thing is, this is like the NyQuil that black people keep taking. Like when Obama was in there, they were able to put your head in the sand and say, oh, we got a black man in there, everything's good. But then when we got Trump, it scared them again. And it's like, no, it's the same system. You're
Right.
being abused the same way, but you're not able to delude yourself because Trump is outright just saying, like, he's letting you know what the vibes are. Biden is even worse, though.
Yeah.
Like,
Facts.
Biden is way worse than Trump, man.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's,
Biden is the president they thought Trump was going to be.
right.
Yes, exactly.
And that's a good thing about
We got a bunch of. Go ahead.
well, that's a good thing about what's happening with the recession and everything is we're gonna be forced to band together
Mhm.
more and more as times get harder, and as more people become disillusioned from picking that old man Biden.
Yeah. Facts.
Okay, well, we're gonna pick out some sweet potato pie right now. And the next topic is, oh my God, Akis, you got to answer for this. My girlfriend is old enough to be my grandma. You got to tell us what the heck you were surfing on the internet to find.
No, first off, it was recommended to everybody, and I actually saw it on your platform, 6 zeros, brother. So don't do that to me. It was in the forums. But basically, this is a video of this young brother. I would say he's maybe in his mid-20s. And
Don't
he
call
met
him a brother. That's not a brother.
this young black man that met his it was his manager's mother, and apparently fell madly in love, and now they're together, and he's trying to have a baby with this mummy.
You said they got married too, right?
Yeah, they got married, and he actually. This is one of the first signs, apart from the septum piercing, is the fact that he dyed his hair, his beard, his hair, and I think his eyebrows blonde for the wedding.
He
Flags.
did. This is mental illness. I feel like, and this is what happens when you go to therapists like that lady in the first video. You end up getting.
He was the therapist. Look at him now.
He was like, age is nothing but a number. He over here, dude. When you dating Becky's, see, this is the thing about black men. A lot of us, when we date Becky's, man, we be getting the scraps, bro. At least you could have got a nice little hot 23-year-old thing. He went and got him an octogenarian.
Yeah.
Disgusted. And they all humping on each other and just doing all kinds of nasty stuff. So So, Black Ice, what are your thoughts on this?
Man, mental illness is the word. Like that's the first thing I saw, and then I was thinking like, at the end of the day, it starts from home. So what did the parents do to drop the ball on this? You know what I'm saying? And then I think he was saying his family was kind of open to it. Like her family was not, but his was open to it. So I'm like, well, now it makes sense because what type of household you're around, they cool with that.
And it goes to show how much us as a people, black folk, are open to relationships with white folk. While they're closing it off. And mind you, she's 61. I know she don't look it, but she's 61. And
she looked 87.
Yeah,
I would say 98. Yeah, but
she looks like Ramses III when they pulled him out his tomb.
At least Ramses III had better skincare.
Yeah, right. He did. His hair looks better.
But
G-Mummy said, "Oh, Mummy, that's pretty cool, Mummy." Said she looks older than my mom.
I mean, but it goes to show they cut it off when it comes to white folk and us trying to get with them. They cut it off.
He ain't a brother, he's a brother.
What's a brother? A white brother? He's a white. Yeah. So this is some weirdo-ness. There's probably some brokenness here too. There's a little bit of mental illness mixed with a little bit of cooning. There's a lot of things going on right here. We need to get him. On the business. We need to prescribe him a couple weeks of the business.
Yeah,
maybe a year. Broke too. Yeah, he needs a year. He needs a year.
And your subscription to the business. Weekly. Yeah, and I guarantee you, I bet you whatever happened for that mindset, it started in childhood somewhere.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah. He definitely has some coon parents. Am I skipping?
A little bit.
Okay, because I'm like, my feed is behind. It's tearing me up. I think my computer just couldn't take that too much.
How the hell you down the street from Silicon Valley and you still got dial-up?
Man, I was gonna say the
like Apple is his neighbor. He's on dial-up.
He's down the street from
Zuckerberg. How about the free Wi-Fi over there?
They work on 6G in LA.
And what y'all down the street from? LGBTQ guy kick out.
Look, we rub sticks together for Wi-Fi, and yeah, we still able to get a better connection.
That ain't the sticks y'all rub together in Atlanta.
No, don't do that. Don't do that now.
Cali ain't no better, bro.
Y'all be rubbing some other sticks together over there.
Cali ain't that much better.
We heard about LA. We heard about
LA is filled with a bunch of scammers, hustlers. That's what, if you heard anything about LA, that's what you heard about. We will sell you a dream and you'll end up on heroin after you get ran through the ringer. LA is a crazy city. Oh, so moving on, let's get some macadamia. All right, let me dig in here. We have, this is a great topic right here. What is B1? What is B1? So, if you haven't been under a rock, you will know that Jason Black has had multiple Twitter spaces where he's explaining to people what B1 is, because there's a lot of people that are basically creating American tribalism, Black American tribalism, and they're trying to appropriate B1 and make it stand for Black American first. And Jason basically had to explain to people that B1 is Black first. It's about an ideology. It's not about ethnicity. It's not about necessarily race. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I was telling him about it, man, because like he had like 2 back-to-back Twitter spaces that went on for hours, and I tuned in to some of it, and it was amazing. Some people that called in, grown people with this foolishness, and and I was just thinking like we still don't get it at all. We still don't get it, and they come up with any excuse to not be. Like I heard some grown people call in, come with excuses of not to be B1.
Really?
Yeah, like. One dude called in saying, that's why you gotta marry a woman from Africa to get access to their resources. And I'm building a factory right now. Like, so Jason, so you telling me you met any African woman, you automatically get a warehouse. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
don't think that's how that works. I don't
yeah,
think
exactly.
Warehouse just lying around.
Yeah, it shows that we still have a long way to go internally within ourselves. You know, that to come together to fight with really our real enemy, which is white supremacy.
I hear you, but I don't know if it's we. You know what I'm saying? There's always there's dusty white people. There's white people that don't get it. There's people that don't get it in every single race, culture, what have you. These are ours. It's just that we don't have resources. These are the dudes we got to push out, and they're getting pushed out. Like a lot of the people from Secure the Tribe that called in, they were like very destructive and they didn't listen. They kept saying it's Black American first. It's Black American first, and the Africans ain't cooperating. And it's like, here, my first thing is this. If you ain't putting numbers on the board, if you ain't being productive in your hood, then who are you to talk about what Africans are and are not doing? Like, nigga, they can't reciprocate with you because you ain't doing nothing.
Right.
Niggas can't reciprocate with Twitter spaces. Oh, I love Africa. And then you want them to say, oh, I love Black Americans. No, niggas want resources. If you ain't bringing resources to the table, if you ain't bringing productivity to the table, then don't expect reciprocity, and you damn sure ain't entitled to tell someone that they not reciprocating. Nigga, you build your own self up. We about to go through a recession. Figure out how you gonna survive that. What's up, Accuse?
Man, I really think it boils down to a whole thing of symbolism. Because people, a lot of Black folk get so caught up in the symbolism of a term like B1 or a term like FBA or non-FBA or what have you, or the symbolism of what country they're from or what flag they rep, to the point where we forget the beast that's breathing down our necks of white supremacy and the actual reason why we have a movement like B1 and why we have all these things. But everybody wants to bring their traumas, they want to bring their biases, they want to bring their issues and negative life experiences into the space, and certain things kind of give it a platform to for them to express these negative sentiments while sidestepping what B1 actually is.
Yeah, and to Jay's point, is a whole lot of talking and not enough action from these people. The main people that talking,
exactly.
Like you said, they're not after their own community. They don't even think like way. They don't think like that. Don't operate like that. And it's very distracting.
I think that what it is when you figure out. See, here's the thing. When you correctly identify what your issue is, then you have to do something about it. So subconsciously, people want to argue because they want to fight over the little minutia, because that stops them from being accountable for having to do something about the problem. If we all agree that we're the elephant men of Zamunda and that white supremacy is our enemy, then we have to do something about white supremacy. So these niggas want to fight. No, we're not the elephant man of Zamunda. We're the elephant tusk men of Zamunda Pro. Like, they just want to make something up and always fight.
Right.
Like, if a nigga's on a Twitter space for 8 hours, you ain't doing nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
For
that's
real.
just proof right there in the pudding. Like, no disrespect. Well, I'm not gonna say no disrespect. Whatever, take it however you want. If you on a Twitter space for 8 hours, you ain't getting the bag. I'm sorry.
Right.
That's true.
Facts.
All right.
Well,
I
Jay
got
preaching,
thrown
ain't
off. I got thrown off. I was thinking about a Twitter space for 8 hours. Let me hear these niggas talk. All right. I hope you enjoyed your venti hot mocha. All right, and here's the main course, the Reparations Task Force. Damn, this looks dusty.
It does,
some of
bro.
them,
Oh
I
my
like some of the people that was on
God.
that Twitter space. 8 hours. Hell no. 8 hours. I ain't gonna kill. But the California Reparations Task Force. Now, this is this topic, which it just got. It was a lot of spotlight on it because of the moment of truth, and Professor Black Truth had 2 moment of truth back to back where he was basically excoriating this whole entire thing. All right, and what I think real quick is that the B1 community needs to start maturing and understanding that we're not always going to agree. Okay, and so there is some real concerns about this task force, and some of them you might agree with, some you might not agree with. But at the end of the day, I feel like Professor Black Truth was moving in the spirit of B1. And so if you have an issue, address those issues. But I like that he was applying that scrutiny to the task force. Your thoughts?
Well, you know, I went over I went over the actual report last week about this, and as you read through it, I'm gonna keep it 100. I thought the report was trash, and I say had because the first part of it was good because you're explaining why we deserve reparations. That part is good. That's a good history lesson. I think it's been a good read for anybody who needs to know our history, right? But we get down to page 27 and you start outlining what you wanted. That part was trash. Because now you just turned the whole reparations report into a welfare program.
Yup.
And to me, it's never reparations. So, but one problem I had with a lot of these discussions lately, and I did listen to the recent 2 Moment of Truth as well. That was good. I like the way he wrote. I like the way he broke down from the UN perspective. You know, breaking that part down. I didn't cover that, and he did. So I'm glad he did. But I feel like we are so focused on trying to make sure that nobody go in and try to get these reparations. Which I understand. You don't want this. You don't want the non-descendants of slaves to get the reparations. I get that. But my thing is that shouldn't be the main focus right now. The main focus is fixing the report. We should be fixing that task force. And we got to hold our own people accountable. And I know I come off as a bad guy and unpopular opinion, but it was trash. Because my thing is, if we get reparations, why the hell we need low-income affordable housing for?
Yes, that's the problem with it. One of my chief problems, and Lisa Holder was one of them that was, and then Cheryl Girls, I think her name was. Every time they brought up the recompense, it was always some money to some program. Mm-hmm. It was never cash, and that's the problem. They're basically, when you look at the report, it like follows a Democrat agenda to a T, if you ask me. I read it, I'm like, this is just the same thing that Democrats always talk about. You guys basically queued it up for the Democrats to say we gave black people reparations, but they're gonna just do the same stupid programs they always do that haven't been working since the Civil War.
It goes to show, because the fact that the governor is even able to choose the people who are on the,
he chose 4 of them.
Right, it was rigged from the beginning. Once you start getting these crooked politicians into it, instead of people who are able to actually carve out something fairly for the black community that would allow us to have power, then you start having issues.
So I'm gonna tie it in to the first part. You asking me how I'm gonna put it together. The What Is a Woman documentary to reparations.
I'm curious about this.
Okay. When I watched that documentary, I would think about that task force report the whole time, because within that report, it kept saying how they wanted public integrated schools, they wanted better health care, mental health. You asked for all these programs from the system, but that documentary, what's the system? Do you really want your child through that system?
Right.
That was came to my mind when I watched that documentary. Like, you tell me reparations is going through her?
Yeah.
I want her telling my kid they can be any gender they want. That's why I brought that in together. Like, to me, you asking for those things in the report. That's the results was in that documentary. You telling the people that what you want, and that's how I brought it together.
Yeah, and that's a great point, because it's like the tangible benefits you're asking for are just going to tether you to the system even more, as opposed to making you independent from it. It's like relationships sometimes, and I'm not talking about like intimate relationships with people. Sometimes you're level with somebody, but then you might do something that puts you here to that person, make you subordinate. We're right here. We need to be here. We need to be equals and be able to challenge the system so that we can have our sovereignty and respect as a people. And I don't feel like what they're asking for gets us that. It's just icing on the cake, man.
Yeah.
And then, Keith, to your point, you said it's rigged. I know it's rigged when I saw a Japanese motherfucker on it. What is Shigeru Miyamoto doing on this joint? Oh, what the hell? I said, oh, this is rigged from.
Man, and I was thinking about too watching the documentary because all the people that do interview, these were the doctors, these were college professors.
Right.
So you asking for free schooling to send your black child to that school to be taught by that professor who can't even tell you who a woman is.
Or even when it comes to the medical care,
Yes.
or when it comes to the
Like
the welfare
like he interviewed everybody that you asking for in a reparation report to be a part of.
Right. Just think about all the people that would be involved. The doctors, the social workers,
They're all in on it.
Right. Come on, man.
Hey, here's my thing, and I think at my 9 to 5, I had gave a Black History lecture, and it was very, very. I did not sugarcoat. I was like, they gonna fire me. They did it, but I don't think I'm ever gonna get promoted, and that's fine. But like this VP had asked me and said, "Hey, what do you think? I'd like to have a sidebar with you to talk about what we can do." And so I said, yeah, we need reparations. And then, hold on real quick. Jerry Budd said he should have asked the biologist.
That would have been a 2-minute. That would have been a 2-minute documentary.
Yeah, I know, for real. Hey, no, but not if they're compromised. The biologist
true.
like,
Yeah.
well, I don't know. Biology is biology. But anyway, so the VP asked me, what could we do? And I said, I'd say reparations. She said, I don't necessarily agree with that. I think we should fix criminal justice and education. I said, criminal justice is y'all issue.
Right.
That's you guys abusing us. You need to fix that on your own. That ain't got nothing to do with us.
Right.
And then I said, you say you need to give us education. I said, so that we can go to the same racist white corporations and beg for jobs. I said, I don't want my son to have to beg white people for a job. She looked like she saw a ghost. I was like, damn, nigga, I am fired.
Clock out, Jay. You go back to the desk, Jay.
And when I saw her face get pale, it looked like she saw a ghost, but she really saw Malcolm X. But she's like, damn, we hired Malcolm X. So I read the room, and then I started people of color in it and all lives matter in it up. She got
You gotta take a stimulus break.
She was trying to create this show, but I was like, damn.
But to your point, man. To your point, I think that's a lot of black people get misunderstood. Human rights is not reparations.
Exactly.
They keep trying to offer human rights. People already have a justice system. People already supposed to have free schooling.
Right.
That's not reparations. That's something we still already supposed to have.
That's the basic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, for reparations, can you just stop beating my ass? Can you? No, I don't want just you to stop beating my ass. You beating my ass. I'm supposed to, as a man, do something about you beating my ass.
Yeah.
Me.
And I think and I feel like we still don't get that yet. Because, like you say, because after the report came out, I've been looking across Twitter. We still arguing about all this other, BS. You know what I'm saying? But like, I didn't see. I hardly saw any black people were like, "Yo, do you know what that report effed us up?" Like, I hardly ever saw that. I was waiting for it. You know, and people were trying to challenge me on it. I'm like, "Did you read it before you challenged me on Twitter?"
No, they didn't read it.
No, they didn't read it.
Did you say read?
Yeah.
Nigga, what read? I read the headline.
Yeah.
I think that I like to break things down to an atomic level, and I like to use the analogy of, like, if we broke society down to a hunter-gatherer society, it makes it very easy to figure out how you need to handle certain situations. If we were in a hunter-gatherer society and there was a group of people that kept coming into our village and fighting us and taking our stuff and beating us up, it's like, what are you supposed to do? It's easy to figure out what you're supposed to do if you're in a village and you're foraging for stuff, and it's just you and your family, and there's no credit scores, there's no cars, or none of that. You already know what you're supposed to do.
Right.
It's the same here. But the thing is, we have so many things to pacify us. We got Xboxes, we have all these things. So it's like, it's easy for you to put your head in the sand. And a hunter-gatherer society, or like The Walking Dead, for all you entertainment lovers, in The Walking Dead, when cats came into your town and violated, what did they do? They went back. They struck back.
Yeah.
You can't hope and pray. I forgot what that Negan dude, his team. If Negan and them come after you, you can't hope and pray your way. You can't hope and pray Negan away. If you're docile, niggas just gonna take more advantage, and that's what black people need to understand. We are never going to be able to vote, pray, hope, or talk this whole system away. It's never gonna happen. We'll just be oppressed for another 1,000 years.
Yeah, people ain't ready for that conversation yet, though.
Yeah.
Well, we have some people are ready, but
Yeah.
some people are ready. But Malcolm X was saying the same damn thing. So that's the thing that's kind of sad sometimes. It's like, why are we just now saying the same stuff that Malcolm X was saying 60 some odd years ago?
Right.
Like, we are literally saying the same thing this dude said. Everybody gets a freaking F in the black community for that. That shit pisses me off.
Yeah.
I watch him speak and it's the same shit is true. That is disrespectful to that man. If you over here talking some Reverend Al Sharpton shit right now, shame on you. You get an F. Hey, Keith, you got something to say?
Yeah, it's just sad how, when it comes to the conversation of reparations and how it's been portrayed in the media and even in our spaces, oftentimes it's almost this want to assimilate. There's constantly this want to assimilate, and it's almost like you're asking for acceptance. But just like the example you used with a hunter-gatherer society, or even, a case like The Walking Dead or a Western, when somebody came into your town, you check the paperwork. You figure out who's coming to your town. If they made trouble, you had them. You dealt with them before the sun set. And that's the mindset we have to have. Where we're seeing with this task force that they don't mean well, they mean trouble, and they're not allies. And if they're not allies in this case, then what other thing are they?
Right.
They're oppositionary.
Right.
But you can't have that if you're trying to treat everybody like your friends. That's what black people need to. We just have an agenda. That's all that matters. The agenda is all. I don't care. Like, we interviewed Camila Moore. Nice person.
Yeah.
Cool. But where's my where's my cash? That's all that means. She's cool. Very cool. Where's my cash? Where's the cash in the document? That's all that matters. If you ain't got the cash in the document, then you not moving in my agenda. So that it makes it very clear for me to figure out where my stance towards you needs to be. And a lot of people just ain't thinking like that. They like, oh my God, they're so nice. They're my friend. I'm just gonna trust them. I'm gonna take my affordable housing that a bunch of freaking country people are gonna move into.
Right.
They make it an affordable housing for people in third world countries. I don't want no affordable housing. Nigga, I want a mansion.
Right.
Exactly.
Look at his background. Like you're as if you don't have enough, but I get it though.
That kitchen that he's got.
Right. Right.
Nigga, I'm supposed to be Elon Musk, okay? But my family has been stifled, so you might like my kitchen back here. I'm supposed to have a bigger, more elaborate, more
Facts.
gold, beautiful, kitchen. So don't hate on my kitchen right here.
Yeah, that big fancy kitchen. Only thing he making pork and beans. That's a ramen.
Yeah, it's a man. These groceries, it's this inflation, bro.
Yo,
I'm stacking money. That's why you think I got my AOL hooked up.
Right next to the Apple.
Elon Musk just has beanie weenies. That's his whole entire diet.
Apple had the whole presentation and he still couldn't get no free Wi-Fi code.
That definitely is true. The black community, we gotta separate, cordiality and friendships from an agenda. That's definitely one thing that we gotta get through our heads. Somebody can be cool. That don't mean that they're a good person.
Exactly. And just so everybody knows, because Black Ice was making jokes about, my economic situation. I want everybody to know, when Black Ice bought that hat, he asked me if I could give him free shipping. He just couldn't afford it. He sent me an email. I just think I want to support black businesses. I only got $20. Man. I said, you know what? I'll put it in my other shit, man.
That's messed up.
But that 526, that's a bit much for shit.
It's like, I just can't really pull that right now.
I don't know, man. I feel a little bit B2 right now.
Okay, can you explain to the audience what B2 is?
That B2 people not gonna pay for shipping.
But what's the first thing in your ideology? You are in Atlanta, so the black is second. What's first? How are you trying to get report from the dominant society?
Oh my God, not that way, sir. Absolutely not.
All right,
that's
so
where
we
you
gotta
start
wrap
hosting.
it up, man. Parting thoughts. We'll start with that Keys. Keep it under 10 minutes.
Now, you know what? I'm gonna start with somebody. Let's start with somebody that's gonna take a shorter approach.
Yeah. Yo, man. Yeah, I feel like we get to hold our own people accountable, especially after seeing that report. And if you haven't seen What Is a Woman documentary, I recommend that to anybody to watch that. And after you watch that, you gotta ask yourself, do you really want to be a part of this society with that mindset? And that's my thoughts.
With me, it's the system. You know, the Reparations Task Force showed what the system does when you have a cause that you care about and you put it in their hands. And you know, What Is a Woman showed the inner workings of the systems and what these different professionals do. You know, what these different professionals push when they have you when you're sitting in a chair and you're put under their care. So we have to separate from the system. You know, I think this episode really kind of showed that very well.
There you, Jay.
That was like abrupt. I was like, he's building. Yeah, and my part of thought is this, man. B1, the B1 community. There's a couple. We have to mature in how we think, and this is not like me stand on a soapbox. I mean, as a community, we just have to mature. We got to understand that one, our ideology is the only thing we need to have an alignment on. Who's our enemy? All right. What do we need to do something about this situation? And is this the most important thing that we need to handle? If we align on those three things, then everything on top of that is negotiable. Okay, how we go about handling that's negotiable.
Right.
But what's not negotiable is that we got to handle that situation, and we need to handle it now, not tomorrow, not down the road. Not our kids, not our kids' responsibility. It's not our grandkids' responsibility. It's our responsibility. So as we go on this journey, you need to understand that you're not going to agree with everybody. Some people are going to challenge your thoughts, and that's perfectly fine. We need to challenge each other's thoughts so that the best thoughts surface to the top, and the bad thoughts, like Black America first over everybody and everybody could jump off a bridge, that's a bad losing proposition. Those ideas like that need to be challenged. Don't be afraid to be challenged. Why you think white supremacy has so many think tanks? They got think tank on think tank upon think tank, and they winning, bro. They've been bombing on us since 300 AD because they go into rooms and they challenge each other's thoughts. Stop looking to all these different people in the B1 space as your daddy.
Yep.
Professor Black Truth is not your dad. Jason Black's not your dad. Tariq is not your dad. The expectation is for you to have independent thought, have critical thinking, and take the knowledge they're giving you and then using it to empower yourself and be your own Jason Black, your own Tariq around your family and your friends. Not for you to follow them. That's committing the same mistake that we've made historically. You follow Martin Luther King, you follow Malcolm X, and you just sit there like a zombie and they get off and then you don't know what to do. Think for yourself and don't be afraid to challenge those around you. And with that, be one and stay seasoned, never salty. I'll holla.